What if I told you that artificial intelligence has discovered something surprising about Sigma personalities? Not through opinions, not through social media trends, but by analyzing millions of conversations, behavioral patterns, psychological studies, and the way people interact with the world. For years, Sigma personalities have been surrounded by mystery. Some people call them introverts. Others think they're antisocial, emotionally distant, or simply trying to be different. But what happens when an AI looks past the stereotypes and focuses only on patterns? The results are more fascinating than most people expect. According to those patterns, Sigma personalities often behave in ways that seem unusual, but are actually remarkably consistent. They tend to value independence over popularity, observation over reaction, and purpose over attention. While many people chase approval, Sigma personalities often move in silence, making decisions that don't always make sense to others until much later. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The AI uncovered several hidden behavioral patterns that appear again and again among people who identify with Sigma traits. Some of these patterns explain why they're frequently misunderstood. Others reveal why people either deeply admire them or secretly feel intimidated by them. Could artificial intelligence be seeing something that most humans have overlooked? Or is it simply connecting psychological clues that have always been there? In today's video, we're revealing what AI discovered about Sigma personality, including the habits, the decisions, and hidden strengths that make them so different from the average person. Some of these discoveries might completely change the way you think about Sigma personalities. Others may describe you with surprising accuracy. So stay until the very end, because the final discovery is the one that challenges everything people usually believe about Sigma personalities. Let's begin. 1. AI found that Sigma personalities think before they react. One of the first patterns AI consistently identified is that Sigma personalities rarely react emotionally in the moment. While many people make quick decisions based on anger, excitement, or fear, Sigma personalities tend to pause first. They naturally create space between what happens and how they respond. Imagine two people receiving harsh criticism at work. One immediately argues, raises their voice, or defends themselves. The Sigma personality does something different. They stay quiet, observe the situation, and ask themselves a simple question. Is this criticism actually useful, or is it just someone else's emotion? To outsiders, this silence often looks like insecurity or weakness. In reality, it's careful analysis. AI recognized that this behavior appears repeatedly among people who describe themselves as highly independent and emotionally disciplined. Rather than wasting energy on impulsive reactions, they focus on long-term outcomes. This doesn't mean Sigma personalities never feel emotions. They do. They simply refuse to let those emotions control their decisions. Instead of reacting in seconds, they think in possibilities. They analyze motives, consequences, and patterns before speaking. Ironically, this habit often gives them an advantage. While others regret words spoken in anger, Sigma personalities usually avoid creating unnecessary conflict. Their calmness isn't an accident, it's a strategy. Perhaps that's why people constantly underestimate them. Silence is often mistaken for uncertainty, when in reality it's the sign of someone who has already started solving the problem before anyone else realizes there's one. 2. AI discovered that they value freedom more than status. Another surprising pattern AI uncovered is that Sigma personalities consistently place freedom above social status. While many people measure success by popularity, expensive possessions, impressive job titles, or public recognition, Sigma personalities often measure success differently. To them, the greatest luxury isn't attention, it's independence. Imagine being offered two opportunities. One comes with fame, admiration, and constant public attention, but very little personal freedom. The other offers privacy, flexibility, and complete control over your own life. Most people might choose the first option. The Sigma personality is far more likely to choose the second. This decision confuses people because society teaches us that success should always be visible. Bigger houses, more followers, better titles. Sigma personalities quietly reject that idea. AI found that many individuals with Sigma-like behavioral patterns prefer working independently, learning on their own, and building lives that don't depend on other people's approval. They would rather be respected quietly than admired loudly. This mindset often makes them seem detached or overly private. Friends may wonder why they avoid unnecessary competition. Coworkers may question why they don't chase promotions or recognition as aggressively as everyone else. But from the Sigma perspective, freedom creates something status never can: peace of mind. Instead of asking, how can I impress people, they ask, how can I build a life that belongs to me? That single difference changes almost every decision they make, and it's one of the strongest patterns AI repeatedly identified. 3. AI noticed that Sigma personalities prefer observation over attention. One of the most fascinating patterns AI discovered is that Sigma personalities spend far more time observing than speaking. In almost every social setting, they naturally become the person watching instead of performing. Walk into a crowded room, and you'll notice something interesting. While everyone is busy telling stories, making jokes, or trying to be noticed, the Sigma personality is quietly paying attention. They notice who interrupts others, who constantly seeks approval, who listens sincerely, and who changes their behavior depending on who's watching. Most people don't even realize they're revealing their personalities through these small actions. AI found that this habit gives Sigma personalities a unique advantage. They collect information before forming opinions. Instead of judging someone after one conversation, they wait for patterns to appear. A single mistake means very little to them, but repeated behavior tells them everything they need to know. This patience often makes them appear mysterious. People wonder why the Sigma personality doesn't say much, but what they fail to realize is that silence is often their greatest source of knowledge. Ironically, while everyone is trying to understand the Sigma personality has already begun understanding everyone else. That's why so many people are surprised when a quiet person accurately predicts someone's behavior weeks before anyone else notices it. It isn't magic. It isn't luck. It's the power of observation, a pattern AI found appearing again and again among Sigma personalities. 4. AI revealed that they cut off toxic people faster than most. Another pattern that appeared repeatedly was how Sigma personalities deal with toxic relationships. Most people continue giving endless chances. They explain, argue, forgive, and hope things will improve. Sigma personalities often take a different path. At first, they're incredibly patient. They try to understand people's struggles. They overlook mistakes. They believe everyone deserves an opportunity to grow. But AI noticed something interesting. Once a Sigma personality realizes someone repeatedly lies, manipulates, or disrespects their boundaries, they rarely continue the cycle. Instead of creating drama, they quietly begin stepping away. To outsiders, this feels sudden. One day, everything seems normal. The next day, the Sigma personality has disappeared from the relationship completely. People often describe this as cold or heartless, but AI suggests it's actually a form of self-protection. Sigma personalities understand that peace is more valuable than winning arguments with people who refuse to change. Rather than wasting months trying to fix someone who doesn't want to improve, they invest their energy into people who appreciate honesty, loyalty, and mutual respect. This decision confuses many people because they expect emotional goodbyes or dramatic confrontations. Instead, they receive silence. And sometimes that silence becomes the clearest answer of all. 5. AI found that Sigma personalities learn more from solitude than from crowds. One of the most unexpected discoveries AI highlighted is that Sigma personalities often experience their greatest growth when they're alone. For many people, being alone feels uncomfortable. Silence quickly turns into boredom, and boredom pushes them to seek constant entertainment or conversation. Sigma personalities are different. They don't see solitude as something to escape. They see it as an opportunity. When they're alone, they're rarely doing nothing. They're reflecting on past decisions, planning future goals, reading, learning new skills, or simply organizing their thoughts. While others recharge by being around people, Sigma personalities often recharge by stepping away from the noise. AI noticed that this habit creates a powerful advantage over time. Every period of solitude becomes a chance to improve. Instead of comparing themselves to everyone else, they compare themselves to who they were yesterday. This is one reason Sigma personalities often seem to grow quietly. People may not notice any changes for months. Then, suddenly, the Sigma personality has developed new skills, changed careers, built a business, or completely transformed their mindset. To outsiders, it looks like success happened overnight, but it didn't. The progress was happening in silence, long before anyone noticed. That's one of the biggest misconceptions AI uncovered. People confuse being alone with being lonely. For Sigma personalities, those are two completely different things. Solitude isn't a weakness, It's often where their greatest strengths are built. 6. AI discovered that they earn respect without asking for it. Another pattern AI repeatedly identified is that Sigma personalities rarely chase respect. Instead, they earn it naturally through consistency. Many people try to gain attention by talking about their achievements, showing off their success, or constantly proving their value. Sigma personalities usually take the opposite approach. They let their actions speak. If they make a promise, they do everything they can to keep it. If they commit to a goal, they continue working even when nobody is watching. They don't need applause to stay motivated because their standards come from within, not from other people's opinions. At first, this quiet approach often goes unnoticed. People overlook them. Some even assume they're unambitious because they aren't constantly talking about themselves. But over time, something interesting happens. The same people who ignored them begin asking for their advice. Coworkers start trusting them with important responsibilities. Friends rely on them during difficult moments because they've proven they can stay calm and dependable. AI recognized this as a recurring behavioral pattern. Respect built slowly tends to last much longer than respect gained through attention. Sigma personalities understand this without needing to explain it. They know that words can impress people for a day. Character impresses them for a lifetime. 7. AI suggests that the greatest Sigma strength is emotional control. Perhaps the most surprising discovery AI identified wasn't intelligence, confidence, or independence. It was emotional control. When AI analyzed the behaviors most commonly associated with Sigma personalities, one pattern appeared again and again. They don't allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Imagine someone insults them in public. Most people immediately react. They defend themselves, argue, or try to prove they're right. A Sigma personality often does something completely different. They pause, they think. Then they decide whether the situation is even worth their attention. To many people, this looks strange. Some mistake it for weakness or a lack of confidence. But AI suggests it's actually one of the strongest forms of self-discipline. Sigma personalities understand that every emotional reaction has a cost. A single moment of anger can destroy years of trust. One impulsive decision can create problems that last much longer than the emotion itself. That's why they choose their responses carefully. This doesn't mean they never get angry, disappointed, or hurt. They do. The difference is that they refuse to let those feelings become the person making the decision. Ironically, this emotional discipline often intimidates people more than aggression ever could. When someone can't control your emotions, they can't easily control you. According to the patterns AI analyzed, that quiet self-control may be the defining characteristic that separates Sigma personalities from the crowd. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being in control. So, what did AI really discover about Sigma personalities? It didn't uncover a secret society or prove that Sigma personalities are superior to everyone else. What it revealed were consistent behavioral patterns, habits that appear again and again in people who value independence, emotional discipline, deep thinking, and authenticity. Whether you agree with the Sigma label or simply relate to these characteristics, one message stands out above everything else. The strongest people aren't always the loudest. Sometimes they're the ones quietly observing, constantly learning, making thoughtful decisions, and growing while everyone else is focused on being noticed. Maybe that's why Sigma personalities are so often misunderstood. People judge the silence before they understand the strength behind it. Now it's your turn. Asterisk, which AI discovery surprised you the most? Was it emotional control, independence, observation, or something else? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos about psychology, Sigma personalities, and self-improvement. Thanks for watching. And remember, the people who make the least noise are often the ones leaving the biggest impact.